Hello my friends. It is the end of 2017. But what if 2017 was not your year? You know, you start out with bright eyes and lofty goals, but then somewhere along the way you realize that you are living, but you are not really on the path that you had laid out for yourself when you made your New Year's resolutions. But also you feel kind of guilty because what if your life really isn't all that bad? There's so much terror and sickness and strife in the world. And you know that you're very privileged not to be dealing directly with any of it. So then is it still okay to be disappointed with the way things have been going? This is something that I think about a lot because 2017 has not been the best year for me, but it's also not been like horrific in any way. I've technically had worse years, and there are a whole bunch of other people who are having a lot worse years than I have. Essentially, it's not the year that I had envisioned back in January. There's been a lot of realization that I am not where I want to be in life at this point. It's like I accidentally took a side path that I thought was kind of just parallel to where I wanted to be, but in reality, it kind of took a big detour off into the woods somewhere, and I'm like, wait, how do I get back on that other path? What's happening? Some things that happened this year for me. One is that I was offered my dream job. Like I applied for it, I got an interview, and I was actually offered it, but I ended up having to turn it down. This was so stressful for me, and it's also something that's very difficult to talk about because you don't really tell people when you got your dream job but you turned it down. You only tell them, you know, that you got it and you're doing it. There's this weird place of saying like, yes, I applied for something that is my dream, and I was actually offered it when I didn't think that I would be, but it didn't fit with my life at that very time, and so I had to turn it down. So honestly, since the spring when all of this happened, it's been something that I've been very much dealing with on my own, and sometimes I'll bring it up to like friends if I see them and they're like, oh, I didn't know any of that. I'm like, yeah, I don't talk about it. It's a weird thing to bring up. Like, yeah, there was this thing and then I said no, and so now none of it matters anymore, but it does. It absolutely mattered to me, or matters to me now, because it opened up this idea of things that I could do. It's also really made me think about life and what I want out of life, things that I had not previously thought about, but getting offered that job made me think about, and I wasn't really prepared at the time of being offered it, but I've done a lot more thinking now. I'm still not quite sure I know where I want to be in life. It just keeps getting more cloudy instead of more clear, which is not how I thought adulthood was going to be. But it kind of put this big damper on the year and made me feel even more like I didn't know what I was doing in life. Also, 2017 has been a very lonely and insular year for me. I had imagined that when I moved to Richmond back in August of 2016, that I was going to find this new life, this kind of adult life that I really didn't have back home in Lynchburg. I thought I would make lots of new friends, and none of those things have happened. Lots of different reasons, and some of them are just kind of my own failings as a person and not being a very social person and being afraid to go out and meet people. But I had this kind of idea of what my life should look like, but didn't really know how to achieve that. And so I just was sort of like sitting there doing my normal things and being like, why am I still lonely? Why don't I have any friends? Then on the YouTube side of things, in 2017, I've really just kind of watched YouTube implode from the platform level, but also on my own channel, where just like demonetization and I mean, the algorithms changes and just no one's seeing my videos anymore, which is very disheartening because I put a lot of work into them, and I'm like, please someone watch this. Essentially, YouTube as a platform has started to become a place that I don't feel like I belong in or that I am a part of anymore. And it doesn't feel like that anymore. It feels like the place where cool people go and make money, and those of us who are there to kind of experiment and connect with people were shoved to the bottom in terms of YouTube's priorities. I think also in watching YouTube kind of implode and seeing my views just like tank, I feel very much like my creativity juices have been just tapped. I am having a hard time making videos, writing blogs, doing things that I really love, doing art. For a long time, I never had a problem coming up with new ideas that I wanted to try. That's one of the reasons this channel is called iIMAGINEblank, because it was about my imagination and all the different things that wanted to burst out of it. Now I'm sitting in the place where iIMAGINEblank is very literal. There's a big ol' blank and question mark. And the last thing from 2017 that's made the year pretty sucky is the deterioration of a long-term relationship. Parker and I broke up this year. I have hopes to do a video in the future where I talk about it, but it's not been something that I feel like I can talk about right now. I don't feel safe or comfortable talking about it, but I also feel like I do need to make a video explaining things, or just sort of some of my experience, because I know that it can help people in the future, and that's what I want. I want to be able to help people, but I'm not really in a place where I feel comfortable talking about it now. Not a lot of good things in this video or in this year. Not like terribly awful things, like my life has not been wrecked or destroyed. I didn't get cancer or any kind of awful illness, which for someone who is sick a lot, that's really great. And I know that I try to be very positive on this channel, and this is not a very positive video at all, but I also try to be very authentic. Authenticity is very important to me, and I think important to iIMAGINeblank, the channel. And so that's kind of where this video is coming from, is me being authentic with some of the struggles that I've been going through this year versus like, everything will be okay, ha! It's kind of hard to inspire others when you yourself are feeling uninspired. And that's where I've been living this year. I have lots of hopes for 2018, but I also am realistic in knowing that just because you celebrate a new year doesn't mean that things are going to magically get better, or magically change. It takes work from you and just circumstances changing, sometimes things that you're not even in control of. The best I can do though is to try to work on myself and things that I can change, which I'm definitely trying to do, and I think where my New Year's resolutions will kind of focus on. So we'll see. We'll move forward. Forward is the only direction that we can go. The question for today, and how I would like to end out 2017, and please answer. If you're watching this video, I value your opinion and I want you to answer me down in the comments. The question is, what would you like to see from me creatively in 2018? I've had some ideas about trying Twitch and kind of doing my coloring videos there, so you can have kind of the longer format and we can have more of a discussion. Thought about maybe going live on Instagram or Facebook or maybe even YouTube and doing like Q&As. You know, are there other platforms that are maybe better for the kind of content I make, or like the community I'm trying to create? Or even if you have specific video ideas, please tell me. I want to know, because I'm feeling kind of creatively tapped, and feeling like I'm doing a lot of work and no one really cares. And that's not a fun place to be in, guys. Yeah. Sorry for the bummer video right before, you know, everyone's celebrating the holidays and I'm like, hey guys, life kind of sucks. But we're embracing authenticity, and that is important. It's important to me when YouTubers are authentic, so I'm trying to be authentic for you guys. Remember that you can check me out on these other social media sites. Instagram is of course my favorite. There will always be lots of pictures of Finn and some of my coloring projects, so come hang out with me there. I hope this video made you think a little bit. It's not really gonna make you smile, sorry about that. But thinking is also good. iIMAGINeblank supports thinking. I will see you in the new year and next Thursday. Bye.